Hi, I'm Vanessa from Premier Tax Solutions, and in this video I'm going to cover some of the things that you need to consider when registering a company. When you decide that you're going to register a company, there's a lot of things to take into consideration before just going ahead and doing it. During my career, I've seen lots of problems arising from people just going ahead and creating companies without any planning in place. So here are some things to consider. Who will be the directors and who will be the shareholders? The directors and the shareholders don't necessarily need to be the same people. The directors are the ones that run the company and make the decisions, and the shareholders are the ones that actually own the company. Directors get paid via salary and shareholders get paid via dividends. Directors have more legal responsibilities than shareholders. You should also consider what share classes you're going to have and how many shares. Quite often people don't think about share classes. They just create one share class and issue a number of shares to the shareholders. This may not be the best way of doing things, particularly if there's more than one shareholder. For example, you might have a company with two shareholders and one of them would like an electric car and the other one would like more cash. If there's only one share class in issue, then that means that the dividends for both shares would need to be the same. This would create an issue in this situation because you've got one shareholder that wants more cash than the other. If in this situation you've got two different share classes, then different amounts of dividends can be paid to each of the shareholders. This is where alphabet shares come in. Another point is don't go issuing loads of shares just because you think it's going to make the company worth more, as it really doesn't. If you issue 1,000 £1 shares, then that means you have to pay £1,000 into the company for them. And then if this company went bump, then that £1,000 is lost because this is a shareholder's liability. So hopefully you can see why just randomly issuing 1,000 shares is a bad idea. What shares do though is work out the percentage ownership that you've got in the company. So you could have 3 different share classes, but still own a third of the company each, depending how you want to set it up. Shares are definitely an area that you need to speak to an accountant about when planning on setting up a company. Another point to consider is what address are you going to use? Some people happily register their company at their home address, but what they probably don't realise is this then goes on the public record and is available to everybody. What if you've got a disgruntled customer or somebody that takes an unhealthy interest in you? This could mean they can easily find your address on Companies House and turn up at your home. I've seen this happen before now for companies that are registered at our address. We've had disgruntled customers turn up, HMRC turn up, and even debt collectors. Do you really want these turning up at your home address? You can register your company at your place of business if you have one, or you could use an accountant or a formations company and use their address. Usually they'll forward all of your mail for a small fee. Another point to consider is the limited company is actually a separate legal entity from yourself, so the company will exist in its own right. It should also have a bank account in its own name, and assets such as vans should be registered in the company name if they belong to the company. Hopefully you found the points that I've raised today informative, and if you'd like any information on planning the setup of a company, then get in touch. Thanks for watching.